What is up, world? Christian Bittinger, Wellness 101, back at it again. A little bit of a CHD reference. Anyways, on the boat, just straight chilling. Today, back at it with the mental healthness talk. Wait, did I just... Okay. Back at it with the mental health wellness talk. Okay, we all make mistakes. I'm not gonna get over that. Anyways, today we're gonna be talking about some more tips and tricks to help you navigate through your days in a more bright, more positive way. Super excited. So today's conversation is going to be it might seem a little counterintuitive. Might seem a little bit like, Christian, this isn't really making sense. Have an open mind, guys. You know, you wellness seekers, you guys always do, so I don't even need to say that. So today's little episode is going to be titled, Be Careful Who You Talk About Certain Things With. That's underwhelming. Today's video is basically centered on being very conscientious of who you talk to certain things about. You have these really big visions for your life, and then you talk to someone about them, and then you find yourself feeling very discouraged, or at least they just don't have the same energy as you. Now, it might not seem like a big deal when I say be careful who you talk about these things with. However, it is fundamental to your inner being sense of, oh, I can do this, like, let's do this. It really is. It's very important. I have a lot of just crazy visions for this life. There's a lot of things that I want to do. There's a lot of things that I can't wait to physically manifest when it comes to relationships, my professional goals, just a lot of things that I cannot wait to do in this lifetime. And in the past, I've shared some of these things with incredible people who just weren't in the receiving mode, or better stated, who just maybe weren't in the same emotional state that I was. And they said things out of love that just made me feel really, not stupid, just like, I didn't think about all of the things that I would have to do, or I didn't really want to think about the things that would be needed in order to achieve the goal, whether it comes to grad school. Like, let's just use college for an example. When I tell people what I want to do with my life, and I tell them the full story, 9 times out of 10, and this has been a hard lesson, I mostly get resistance, meaning I mostly get people telling me all of the negative things that are going to be required. Not even most times intentional. Most of the times when people give you advice about any sort of topic, it's not really to bring you down, it's just their perspective of life, and that's okay. It doesn't mean their perspective's wrong, it just means their perspective might be different. And of course, there's so much to learn with that. So my boat's like parked in our, I don't want to say driveway, what do you call it? When you like live on the water, you can like park your boat in like the behind your house. I don't know, a boat driveway? Just, okay, anyways, bear with me. And so my neighbors are outside right now thinking that maybe I have a little bit of schizophrenia. It's okay, we're here for it. And anyways, back to the topic of the day. It can be very discouraging when you're excited about something and you share it with someone who might just be in a different state of mind, and then they kind of bring you down. And so a big point of this conversation is basically just to remind you guys to be a little bit more conscientious of, let's say you have a great idea and it's so brand new, and you can tell that your mind's very impressionable in the sense of, if someone were to give you advice, if it could majorly affect the way that you make the decision, then I would encourage you to maybe not share it with anyone, or share it with someone who is in a happy state. And so, not in like they'll only tell you that you're perfect type of a thing, but whenever you're asking someone for advice about anything, or it's a big idea and you maybe want some feedback, ask yourself, is this a happy person? And that seems like such a basic, not very doesn't really mean a lot type of a question, but think about it. If you ask someone who's in a negative state any sort of question, whether it's serious or superficial, they're most likely going to give you a negative response, or at least they're not going to provide that positive encouragement that you might desire when you have such a new, bright, and fun idea. Guys, when we're in the beginning stages of thinking about making a minor decision or a major life decision in the future, our minds are very impressionable, meaning we can go one way very quickly. And if you're in the beginning stages and you ask someone who isn't really in a state of alignment, or better stated, a state of, no, alignment's a great word. So what I mean by alignment is they kind of know who they are, they know what they're about, they're in a good place, not meaning they're happy all the time, but overall they're in a good emotional state to look at the pros and the cons from an objective point of view. That's what I mean by alignment. Not a perfect person. None of us are perfect, but if you're about to ask anyone any sort of question, superficial or not, and you kind of really want feedback or really want advice, ask yourself, is this a happy person? Is this person genuinely happy about their life? And if they're not, then that doesn't mean that you don't talk to them, but maybe ask a different person about this certain topic. No, okay, this topic seems so simple, but I'm not kidding. There have been days where I've been so excited about an idea, and then I share it with someone who just doesn't necessarily view life the same ways I do, in the sense of, I really do believe that everyone's potential is limitless, and that you can actually manifest and attract anything that you vibrationally match up with. In less weird terms, I believe that you can do anything that you set your mind to. I really do believe that. That's just my personal belief. And so I don't need someone to agree with everything that I agree with. It's not about that, but I seek advice from people who I admire, or I seek advice from people who are doing life, who are making life decisions in ways that I respect. That's all I mean by that. It's not about finding just someone who agrees with everything you say, because we often grow when we have conversations with people who have different perspectives. Anyways, no, but it's so important, guys, these visions, these goals that you receive, you really can accomplish them, but I can definitely see from a perspective of feeling doubt when we go to people and share our concerns, and they're not in like a very good place to talk about this certain subject. Doesn't mean they're not an incredible person in your life, just maybe not the best person to talk to at this specific time about this specific situation. Things change, people change, maybe just right now they're not in a great place. And so out of love, they might give you a perspective that you might not be ready to hear. And when you have a goal or a vision that you receive, you start to think about all these wonderful things that can happen, but since it's such an early stage, you're very impressionable. And until you can reach a state where you look at the pros and the cons yourself, where you think about why would you want to make this move or do this action, or stop doing this action, maybe leave a current habit that you're currently practicing in your life. When you're not really set, or at least in the very beginning stages, your mind can be swayed good or bad, and not even good or bad, more so you can make a decision based off of one person's perspective. And when you're trying to do these really big things with your life, or just normal decisions that are some serious decisions, I encourage you to talk with people who, is this a happy person? And if not, maybe not talk with them about this topic. Because guys, you can do it. Christian Bittinger back at it again with the little motivational, not to be a little cheesy, but these cheesy statements, like you can do anything you set your mind to. But it's totally okay and normal to feel discouraged after speaking with someone who gives you an alternative perspective. And I'm not saying that these people are doing it to bring you down. A lot of the times it is out of love, but it's their perspective, right? So, I think that this topic, it really does seem simple, but when it comes to this vlog, I think one of the main reasons why I just did it is because I didn't ask for permission, meaning I didn't say, hey, should I do this? But this is something that I genuinely wanted to do. And until I was sure, which was about a week before I decided to make my first video, I didn't tell anybody, because it's so easy for us to be swayed by our surroundings. Guys, we are influenced, and we influence those who are around us, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. Whether you are willing to accept this truth, guys, you become who you surround yourself with. More so, if you're not ready to receive that, you are at least somewhat influenced by the people who you spend time with. And that can be good or bad, positive or negative. It all serves. Nothing's ever wasted. But when you're in these moments where you're like, I think that I want to do this. Like, this thought feels really good, and since I can do anything I want, not if, since, because you guys can do it. I'm here to tell you, anything that you set your mind to, any sort of vision that you receive, you can do it, guys. You can. Just saying. Just pushing you in the direction of realizing that your potential is absolutely limitless. Talking with people who encourage you and obviously offer perspective is very important. So this tip does not mean that anytime someone offers you a perspective that isn't positive, that it's a bad thing. I'm simply saying be conscientious of who you're sharing your visions and goals with, because when you look at all the things that you have to do to achieve it versus all of the amazing benefits that are going to arise from you taking this action, it can definitely alter when you're going to take the action, whether you're going to take it at all. So it's important for you to realize that. It's important for you to surround yourself with people who are willing to be honest with you. But then there's a difference between that and who are going to offer constructive criticism versus people who decide to view life as a negative, condescending, not absolutely beautiful way. And there's a difference, and it's hard to distinguish that. But just again, ask yourself, is this a happy person? Is this a happy person? Is this person telling me this out of love, or is it just based off of their own perspective that they're offering me these words? Guys, I hope this made sense. Guys, I'm out here just truly, this month of July, I've dedicated a month of happiness, meaning I'm gonna do more things that make me happy. Cheesy, I know, but it's Christian Bittinger. He's always making these cheesy statements. But I'm out here just really living my passion and just sharing with you guys things that really have just really improved my overall well-being. And you know, Michaela's coming on. We're gonna talk about some excellent topics, guys. I've been working so much, so I decided to leave one of my jobs so that way I could just spend more time being present. And I'm excited, guys. I'm feeling good, feeling right, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, ready to share the wellness all summer long, baby. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Continue to have an excellent summer. Continue to be outside as much as possible. And tune in next week. Woo!